socialize. Oh, Slick Nick. Santa Claus.
Listen to the sound of footsteps in the dark, to voices that may not be quite human, to the sound of screams in the night. The Haunted Cabaret, the home of all things horror, on Rhode-IslandFreeRadio.org, with your host, George Garner. The Haunted Cabaret starts now.
Surrounded by my
All right, that was Shadows Fall, The Taste of Fear. And this is The Haunted Cabaret on Rhode Island Free Radio. I'm your host, George Garner. Across from me, my co-host, Chuckles the Evil Clown, looking especially evil this evening.
Thank you, and I apologize for not mentioning you last time and threatening to send you to a...
I believe you said on the last program that Chuckles is looking Donald Trump-like evil.
Very true. He's very Trumpish.
Do I have the flair?
That's the only thing. You don't have that frock.
By the way, first of all, we're destroying Radio Protocol 101 here because I didn't finish my introductions.
Oh, we
Tony
bad.
Jones, among others, should know better than that. But
I'm a professional.
Ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nurse Misery is the ish.
Yes.
Oh, she's the ish, all right.
Now, come on, Chuckles. You admitted on your very own show that she was filthy to an extent that you feel very fondly for her.
Yeah, she's almost a sweet-ish, if you know what I mean on that one.
You are in so much trouble.
I'll tell you
no,
what.
we don't.
I know. All I can do is envy you guys because I had some bad news this past week. My favorite fetish girl, up in New Hampshire. Here's to you, Melissa. The woman has decided to get married.
Oh no!
She has met a fellow deranged nymphomaniac fetishist.
That doesn't mean anything.
But they spent their first date at the pawn shop. It's serious.
George, listen to me here, brother. That doesn't mean anything. I know plenty of fetish women that are married and they still play the swingers game. You're still in. Trust me.
No, maybe, but I just have this strong feeling that one of the horrible things that can happen to a woman now. Please, we're not going to make generalities here. Donald Trump is the guy that makes generalities. We don't want to be politically incorrect or anything. But let me just add, Chuckles, that while you may be correct up to a point, there is something that happens to a woman when she gets to around her mid-30s.
Okay, I'm not there yet.
No, you're not. You're not. No, and it's got something to do with, maybe a couple of billion years of the evolution that the creationists deny, which involves kind of, let's just say, procreation, continuing the species.
Oh, you're talking about that biological clock thing?
That that Marissa Tomei in My Cousin Vinny biological clock that's ticking.
Yeah.
Yep. And this woman, who I had all respect for up until about a year ago, in 1 year went from this perverted sex fiend to a woman that wanted to settle down and for me to impregnate her so she could have a family.
Oh, wow.
Now
that's dramatic.
That is a dramatic change. I mean,
that's run.
Yeah. But shouldn't the crazy sex fiend, that works to wanting kids?
What do you want to do? Crazy sex fiend the kids?
Well, no,
even I'm not that bad.
They can be a cause of that.
Chuckles, watch out for this woman, will you?
Yeah, that's why I sleep with a knife under my pillow.
Yeah, well, let's be realistic here for once, even though it's the Haunted Cabaret. When kids enter the picture, no matter what the situation, it can be nymphos, it can be fetishists, it can be necros. It doesn't matter what the setting is. Kids ruin the whole effing thing.
That's what locks are made for, I thought.
Nurse Misery, shut your pie hole.
I don't know.
Yeah, Chuckles. Just don't let her lock.
Sex will happen.
Don't let her
there
lock.
There will be a way.
Don't let her lock any children in your refrigerator or basement or anything like that, right? Because
I
do enjoy having you on the show.
Why do you think I don't let her near the sexual protection items? There'd be a lot of little me's running around.
Neither before nor after, because there's nothing worse than a chick that goes in and wrings it out, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, I am broken. I am brokenhearted, and it just does me good to see all you people.
Why is there a turkey baster in the bedroom?
See this? I pour my heart out to you people, and all I get is ridicule and laughter in return. Insensitivity.
You expect any less?
No, I'm proud of you all.
Thank you.
Yes, not one speck of political correctness in this room. Now,
George, I for one. By the way, DJ
by the way,
the
the voice that just impinged itself on the conversation.
Is God?
Yes, it's God.
Shit, he saw me doing that.
Wash your hands again, Chuckles.
I haven't even washed my penis lately. Okay, go ahead.
I for one, support you in your idea. However, children may not always put a damper on things. That's why you have cages. You lock them in a cage, you don't have to worry about them.
Yeah, but then...
take her out, put the kid in.
But don't you have to set them on fire?
No. That's
I mean, when
illegal.
you put somebody
That's
in
a
a cage,
felony.
isn't that setting somebody...
No, that's a felony, and there's a possibility of moral implications.
Well, that's right. That's an ISIS thing. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
You don't want to go down that
Unless
dirty
you have
road.
a towel wrapped around your head, you do not have to set the child on fire.
Okay, you can just imprison them temporarily.
Exactly.
With or without food.
Depends
how
on how
long it
long it's
takes.
going to be. Like a gentleman or stud like yourself may take a little longer. You may want to give them a cookie or two.
Yeah, a bowl of food, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or a little hamster bottle of water or something,
Yeah.
so they don't dehydrate.
Now, how big should the cage be? Should I let the kid crawl or
Oh,
walk
hell no.
erect? Or
You don't want them going
all
anywhere.
fours?
All fours. Don't let them move too much.
Then they make noise.
All right, we can do this. And as a matter of fact, I know
That's
how
why
to
they
do it.
close doors.
That's
No.
why I said locks. Just lock the
Yeah.
damn door.
No, we can do this because actually H.P. Lovecraft has showed me the way. No, Tony, you're a Lovecraft fan. Remember a story called The Rats in the Walls?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, family of cannibals back in the Middle Ages. They kept plenty of, let's say, livestock down in their basement. Yeah, exact same concept. They got by the time they were
Chuckles,
done,
much like our first apartment in West Warwick, Rhode Island.
Yep.
yeah, and by the time they were done, they had these people walking around on all fours, making sounds like pigs and cattle. So yes, it can be done. All right, you guys have given me hope. She may not be gone for good.
Nope, she's not. And you
Okay.
got me really excited talking about cannibals and in the basement. There's just something about that
Yeah,
gives
I do see a little salivation there around.
gives me the tingly feeling.
Actually, we got off on a really huge tangent here. What I originally had in mind to start off the show was to mention what I have heard of in my life as the stupidest way to raise money. That Tony knows what I'm talking about. The stupidest way to raise money that I ever heard of, and it's this, and it's a case of think about this, but don't do it. There was this nerd, which we can all relate to. It's the Christmas season. He was short on money, and he wanted a new video game. The game escapes me the name of it. I forget. But the point was that he was low on money, and he wanted a new game system. So did he go out hustling, people for money on street corners? No. Did he go stealing from his parents? No. Did he go try to prostitute himself like a Dee Ramone? No. What this kid did is he tried to shake down the ISIS terrorist group. He contacted ISIS. And again, the terms I know. Ed is in the room, and I just used shake down. That's probably the wrong term. More like scamming. What he did is he contacted the ISIS terrorist group, and he said that he wanted money to begin a jihad here in the United States, and could they please support him and send money? And his intent, apparently, was to take this money donated to him by ISIS, the same people that burn people in cages, the same people that decapitate human beings with rusty knives. And he was going to take that money, and instead of fighting for the glory of Allah, he was going to buy a video system. Now, again, all I can think of is, remember back in the day that old Burt Reynolds, Jackie Gleason movie, Smokey and the Bandit?
Yep.
When the sheriff's best line in that movie was, "You can think about it, but don't do it."
Yes.
And that's my heartfelt advice, because now it turns out, the more they look into it, that this nerd, actually was a jihadist, and he was cooperating with the terrorist group and everything, and that was just going to be his alibi. In other words, this money that they sent him wasn't for weapons; it was for a video system. But the reason I mention it is that, having had that said,